Okay, boys and girls, we're back. Set FSD going the wrong direction. A couple of Amazon returns. Add a stop. Whole Foods. Edit. Done. There we go.
Senator Eric Schmidt. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. What is it that these universities think that they can get away with this without suffering any sort of consequences?
Well, they had a lot of friends in high places, and President Trump's turning the tables on them now. These universities that you mentioned, Harvard, Columbia, they're the elitist of the elite. They are the wokest of the woke. They are the worst of the worst. And for a long time, they've employed discriminatory practices based on race. For Asian students, white students, the Supreme Court ruled that way just a year ago. And now those practices are going a little bit underground. And I think we're going to learn a lot more about that. They've had segregated graduation ceremonies for every group except for white students and Jewish students. And Harvard in particular and Columbia are tied for last with a 0.0 rating, free speech rating. That's a Blutarsky. That's an Animal House reference, of course, for college. That's nothing. They're the worst. That means that if you're a conservative student, you get shut down. If you're a conservative professor, you might get canceled. So these folks are total hypocrites when it comes to free speech. They don't honor that important principle that you can say your piece in the town square. They allow the intimidation and the closing and these encampments to intimidate. They allow that, and they are continuing to engage in discriminatory admission practices. And so it's about time that somebody called them out on it.
And I love that you make the point, the very important point, that the best argument you might make against the Trump administration is that they're going after protesters who are supporting Palestine. But these are not bastions of free speech. And in fact, it's not a surprise for anyone who's paid attention to anything that inherently racist programs like DEI winds up leading to the exact situation where you have the Harvard president saying, yeah, we got a real anti-Semitism problem on campus.
That's right. And I gave a speech on the Senate floor a year or so ago talking about this. If you want to understand what's going on college campuses, you shouldn't be all that surprised, because this race essentialism, this DEI, this cultural Marxism has infected our universities. They view every room, every situation you divide by oppressor and oppressed, and it has real consequences. And I think we finally have an administration that's willing to stand up to it.
I don't need to tell you what voters are sitting around, when they read these stories and they realize, and we're giving $1 billion a year to Harvard University that has an endowment of $53 billion. How does this even happen to the innocent taxpayer?
It's insane. And by the way, the legacy media sort of runs with these stories that they're cutting research funding. The truth of the matter is, what President Trump has talked about the administration is on NIH funding is that your overhead can only be 15%. A lot of these universities like Columbia and Harvard, their overhead is like 78%. So if you actually brought that, and that's for bureaucrats, that's for that kind of infrastructure, these people, these tenured folks that have been around for a long time, it's not going to research. If President Trump actually gets his way, you're going to have more money for research. But if if you're going to engage in discriminatory practices like these universities, that money's not going to come your way. That's the ultimate hammer, again, to get back to this free speech idea, and you won't discriminate against students based on their race.
If a charity were doing it, they would be locked up for running a scam operation. So, Senator, thank you so much for joining us. Coming up, fighting for the American flag, how a CEO is putting patriotism before business. Next, Camping World Chief Marcus Lemonis joins us next.
Truck drivers, are you interested in starting your own trucking company? Do business with Schneider and get resources that can help you make a smooth transition from a company driver to an owner-operator. Leverage Schneider Freight Power to choose the loads you want to haul and the schedule you run. You'll also get access to business advisors who can provide guidance to help you succeed. Plus, take advantage of leasing and buying options if you need a truck. Discover more ways Schneider can help you start or grow your business at SchneiderOwnerOperators.com. That's SchneiderOwnerOperators.com.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From blowers and trimmers to mowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it is the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit EgoPowerPlus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's EgoPowerPlus.com.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. A very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate. Claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
You don't notice pain until it's all you notice. Every step, every reach, every restless night staring at the ceiling. But
Okay, so Amazon returns closed down early today. No big deal. Still make some more returns at Whole Foods and get dinner. So FSD, take us to Whole Foods. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Rick. I hope you're having a great day. Please consider liking and subscribing to become one of my 3.5 million, 3.5 dozen subscribers. I mentioned in a recent video that Tesla is buying back my truck. Got an issue with the regenerative braking that can be uncooperative at times. Only happened a few times, but in the last 3 or 4 months, I'll get back in the vehicle and put it in drive or reverse to get out of a parking spot, and it'll just start rolling. You know, from gravity, not anything else. And Tesla hadn't been able to determine why it's doing it or recreate it at the shop. So, huge surprise, they've offered to buy the truck back. 100 cents on the dollar. And by that I mean that includes repayment of the $250 order fee, the $1,995 delivery fee. We've got a Chuck Cook unprotected left turn here. And so, and the 4 lease payments I've made on the truck. So they're giving me a complete 120-day do-over. And I've decided to get another CyberBeast, but this time I want to get a Foundation Series. A couple of reasons. Tesla's offering a deep discount right now. And they've added free Foundation Series always had the free FSD, but now they've added the free charging. So with the $12,000 off for inventory, again, these are brand new, no demo Foundation Series CyberBeast at $12,000 discount of the $18,000, I guess $20,000 hit for Foundation Series. That's not a bad deal now that they've added free supercharging. So that's the path forward. FSD is just so amazing. I'm just more amazed every day the way it merges into traffic, avoids construction, avoids people broken down on the road, emergency equipment. It's just cool beyond words. So I had a 90-day incentive when I bought the truck last December. 90 days of free supercharging, 90 days of FSD, and Tesla has added, on 2 separate occasions, they've added 30 days of the FSD. I think they've done that fleet-wide, so my FSD for this vehicle ends next month. Not sure I would pay $8,000 to buy it outright. Not a good use of capital. At $100 a month or $3 a day, I would certainly keep subscribing. But now I have the do-over opportunity to go back and get Foundation Series that includes that, and now includes supercharging. Feels like a good deal. Right now the one I've ordered has the white decor. You know, it's just the white. Goes around here. It's a $2,000 ad, although what's included was Foundation Series. Yesterday, I got a text message from Tesla, an invitation to come pick up my truck at the factory in Austin, which includes a tour of the factory. How cool is that? But then I found out today that it's not quite as cool as all that. To accept that invitation, I would be giving up the current order for the CyberBeast Foundation Series CyberBeast. I'll be giving that up for just whatever they had at the factory that day. Probably not a Foundation Series. Probably not a CyberBeast. Oh, and by the way, I'd pay the full retail cost. So then I got the invitation this week to come pick up my new truck in Austin at the factory, which would include a factory tour. They called it the new delivery experience. How cool is that? So I'm hoping that that'll get confirmed and take my son and grandson to the factory to pick up my new CyberBeast and see the factory. So I'm headed to Whole Foods now for another Amazon return and pick up some groceries. Gonna have this one much closer to home. Just not quite finished with construction yet. FSD does such a fine job on, like for instance, lane centering. It's just so close to flawless on everything it does. Getting into and out of parking lots, not parking spaces, but in parking lots, going off of a major thoroughfare like this into a shopping center, it's like once it gets off the major street, it gets kind of dizzy and loses its mind. It hadn't always been this way, but version 13.2.8 seems to have been a bit of a step backwards. It'll pull off of a major street, and the store I'm going to, a restaurant's right in front of me, and it'll pull off the street and then start making a bunch of turns going different directions, and got to take over. Not that big a deal, but not quite ready for prime time when it comes to competing against Waymo in the unsupervised category. Similar, coming out of a shopping center, I can pull out of a restaurant parking space and head, directly into the major thoroughfare I need to go to, initiate full self-drive, and then it'll initially turn on the blinker and turn in the parking lot to try to go out a different direction. And it's not found a better route than me, although I'm sure I don't always choose the best routes. But it's not like it's avoiding the U-turn to go out a different direction. It's just not going out the easiest way. That's not a safety issue. It's not a. It's just that last 100 feet, you know, to get to your destination. Again, you can't compete with Waymo or the press with stuff like that. But as far as negotiating the streets or getting you from your home to someplace across town or across the country, full self-drive will do it. It does still need some fine-tuning, and I'm happy to be a beta tester for sure. That's why I make these videos. bump on her car. CyberTruck would have given her a bigger bump. Looks like Whole Foods is building a charging station here of some flavor or variety. Nope. We need to go this way. EV charge. EV go. Cool. We're back. Show you another thing you can't do in non-FSD cars. And that's two-fisted eating. Into this thing. There we go. Oh man, look at that. I'm not even going to supervise. I'm just going to enjoy this pizza. Holy smokes, that's good. Okay, I don't want to strike. What's the matter? Don't you see my eyes? Watch him. What the heck, man? I'm watching. Not even eating. Just watching. You know what? I think it heard me say I wasn't going to supervise and it started giving me, act like it was going to give me a strike. What's up with that? So between having dinner, driving back home with some groceries, I can do all that, use both hands eating, and still drive safely. So the latest on the new CyberBeast, ordered a new Foundation Series CyberBeast on Monday or Tuesday. Must have been Monday. Because on Tuesday I got a text from Tesla with an invitation to pick it up in Austin. And this special delivery experience also included a factory tour. So I said, yes, please. find out it's not quite as simple as that. By accepting the invitation to pick it up at the factory in Austin, I actually have to give up the vehicle that I purchased, the VIN number, Foundation Series CyberBeast, and then the price will be determined by whatever they have for me down there when I take delivery. Oh, and it'll be at, full price, no incentives or discounts. Talk about a bait and switch. My gosh, I can't believe this is what anybody in Tesla intended. Excuse me for chewing on the video, but this pizza is so good. Tesla's doing all the driving. So cool to get an invitation from Tesla announcing the new delivery experience. Pick up my truck at the factory, includes a factory tour. Sounds good to you? Reply with the word factory. I saw online that some people did the same thing, also regarding Foundation Series orders. They reported they have a date for pickup tomorrow, Friday. The best I can find out is I certainly won't get a Foundation Series. Apply turning force, okay. Okay. Son of a gun. I wanted to pick up my Foundation Series Beast in Austin with my son and grandsons. And yes, Saban, you're welcome to come as well. Love for you to come. It sounds very doubtful I'd get the truck that I ordered, or even Foundation Series. It would be bad if I made the trip and they tried to send me home with a rear wheel drive version. Holy smokes. What did that say? Where are you trying to turn, FSD? We don't want to turn here. Scaring all those people behind us with the turn blinker. Wait to see what showed up on the video. Just trying to eat pizza, but I'm staring at the road. Problem is, I can't, with both hands, I can't jiggle the wheel. So I gotta have a free hand just to let FSD know that I'm still here. Wow. Awareness light right here was not on when I was facing into the sun, so we couldn't see my eyes. Doesn't make sense. My glasses weren't much darker than they are now. I don't have my mirrored shades on. So what's my move on this factory tour deal? Do I give up my Foundation Series CyberBeast to go down and see the factory, receive some kind of new truck at the factory? I guess I could refuse it when it's not the CyberBeast, the Foundation Series CyberBeast. But I don't want to play that game. But what kind of games are they playing with me? I ordered the Foundation Series CyberBeast. 2 days later, invitation. Pick up your vehicle at the factory in Austin. Includes a factory tour, new delivery experience. Didn't say that you've got to forfeit your order. And any discount that you got for, because you got a year-old vehicle, or. But that's what they said in a text message, that you forfeit the VIN number and forfeit any bargains. You just pay full retail price for whatever they have down there. Well, heck, that's what I did on this CyberBeast. I just paid full retail price. I would have picked this up at the factory. I thought it was part of the deal because the Foundation series that I ordered, the sales guy, local sales guy, said it was in Austin. And it was the last CyberBeast that I could pick up in my area, and it happened to be in Austin. So I got the invitation. Well, that makes sense. Pick it up down there. I didn't ask because I'm sure I already know the answer, but you don't get a deduction of the $1,995 delivery fee. It was made across the street at the factory, and pick it up in Austin, you're still going to pay that. Okay, that's fine too. Home. Oh, now you want to go. I wish I could get right back up on there. I can't. Games we play for full self-drive. Really, really, really.
Now to the kids and grandkids. Now's your chance at a beautiful...
Poor lane decision. Yes, I like FSD driving me around, but sometimes I overrule the lane assignment. I'm sorry I'm in a cranky mood. One strike is too much in a short drive, and I thought I had 2 strikes. Bunch of rain, standing water everywhere.
Very clear idea about how much sugar they should be using, which is 0.
Baja doesn't stop at food. RFK is teaming up with Attorney General Pam Bondi to tackle drugs. And for Bobby, it's personal.
I know that for all of you, your lives, each one of you have been touched by this disease, and my life was, and my family is no exemption. I lost my brother, who was my closest friend, to this disease. During the pandemic, I lost a niece who was like a daughter to me, and so we're all affected by this, and I was personally affected.
Numbers don't lie. Americans are sicker than ever before, and it starts in childhood. We need to approach health and science with common sense, which is why a lot of people no longer trust the experts. Quote, 45% of adults aged 18 to 34 said they've disregarded their health provider's guidance in favor of information from a friend or family member in the past year, a 13% or a 13-point increase from the previous year. Is it any surprise doctors have lost credibility? They got in bed with Big Pharma and they pushed an experimental vaccine. They tell us to eat less meat, and they push Ozempic, even on children, instead of healthy exercise and diet. So no wonder nearly half of Gen Z is resorting to social media as their main source of health information. They trust people like Paul Saladino and Sean Baker. These podcasters walk the walk. They live healthy lives, and it shows. They're fit and embodying a holistic and healthy lifestyle. RFK isn't a doctor, but who would you trust more? Co-founder of TrueMed, Callie Beats, joins us now. Callie, thanks for joining us today. So I can tell you that this is happening anecdotally in my own house. I have Gen Z teenagers, Gen Z early 20 kids, and they're all on these health podcasts. That's who they go to for health advice. They don't go to the doctors, because I just went to see a doctor not too long ago, and he told me to eat less meat. Like, what?
Gen Z voted 50% for President Trump. You wouldn't have imagined this 4 years ago. And they are correct. What's happening with these new voices and independent voices is revolutionary. I think what's so instructive here, Rachel, and what I'm seeing as a special government employee at the White House right now, is this battle the administration is having with Harvard. Now, let's just step back. There's no greater expertise than Harvard. What have they done in previous years? They published a memo saying their medical students should not use the word mother, that they should use the word birthing person. At Harvard Medical School, they do not teach a nutrition course or require one until this day. They fired a top professor, Martin Koldorf, during COVID for questioning the lockdowns. They still, to this day, contribute to nutrition research that questions whether ultra-processed food is harmful. This is the state of expertise, and I think it is so important and so reasonable for this administration to be asking whether this school that has exhibited terrible judgment that has been a hotbed of intolerance for academic freedom should receive billions of dollars of NIH grants. Last year, 14% of NIH grants went to DEI programs. A lot of that went to Harvard.
So I can't just watch the road. I have to watch this to see if
from Harvard that's come out of NIH grants over the past 5 years. I can't find one innovation that's led to improved health for Americans. So I think if there's a calling card of this administration, it's answering that voter call. They're supportive of academic inquiry. They're supportive of expertise, but the experts, the current ones, need to be reformed.
Yeah, listen, there's been a lot of wins in HHS, as you well know. I mean, you guys have taken on pharma, you're taking on the formula industry, which is the first ultra-processed food that so many babies are getting. Tell me about more of the wins in the first 100 days.
Rachel, I have got a great news for you. There is a mandate from the top on the fertility policy that you'll be seeing very soon, and it's to make Rachel happy. We are going to have a holistic fertility policy, and it's a directive. We are going to give that to you, and you're going to be extremely happy with this. We've taken common sense actions to ban the food dyes. We're taking soda off of food stamps, and we're removing pharma executives from FDA advisory boards. You're going to see win after win after win to reform the broken incentives that have led to this terrible expertise and install a golden age of a medical system that incentivizes the root cause.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's definitely won over moms. You guys call them the Maha moms, but clearly I believe that it was a huge part in that stat you put forward about young people. I believe Gen Z voted in large part because of these health issues. So kudos to everyone there at HHS. It's always great talking to you, Callie.
Thank you, Rachel.
Got it. The head of the World Economic Forum is under investigation. We'll be right back.
Selling your home? It's a fact. A great real estate agent will sell your home faster and for more money. So you will need to find a great real estate agent. Find that great agent on Ready.com and get paid thousands of dollars extra. Because on Ready.com, the top agents near you will pay just to be your agent. Yes, they pay you a cash bonus to be your agent. Money in your pocket before you sell your home. And Ready makes it so easy. Just go to Ready.com, REDY.com. Enter the address